Tuesday evening. Good evening to everybody. Good evening, everybody. Tonight we are locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll for another episode of Conversations with Ken Lawrence. Ken Lawrence, that is I is he. We're gonna have a great show tonight. Man, I got four dynamic young ladies that we're gonna have a conversation with and gonna have a very candid conversation. We're gonna talk about single parenting. It's an issue that we all are aware of. So many stigmas, so many conversations about it. So tonight we're gonna get the information from four ladies from a different perspectives about single parenting in 2022. Guys, you all do not want to miss it. Go ahead and tag your people. Go ahead and let them know that we are on. Let's get it started. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So, like I said earlier, my name is Ken Lawrence. Welcome to tonight's episode of Conversations with Ken Lawrence, man. Tonight is going to be a serious topic, but we're going to talk about it in a very mature manner. For those of you who have not done so, let's get some housekeeping out the way. Go ahead, subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and like this channel. Go ahead and share this channel. You'll be doing your boy a favor if you did that. Also, if you have a second, you may want to go back to last week's episode and check that episode out. We did an excellent episode on successful marriages. I had Pastor Larry Murray and his lovely wife, and my partner, Mr. Charles Ivory, and his wife. And we talked about successful marriages. I think the media right now is showing people the dysfunction and the illusions that marriage ain't where it's at. And that's right, I say it ain't. They showing it that it ain't where it's at. But last week, we had a great conversation showing everybody that you can have a successful marriage, you can have a great time having one, and it's all good in the hood, as they say. So tonight we're going to talk about single parenting, probably from a different perspective than you've ever had it talked about before, especially in a public forum like this. So we're going to have the conversation. So when you talk about single marriages, I pulled a few statistics up that I thought were kind of interesting. It says number one, that 30% of American families with kids under the age of 18 are single parent families. That's approximately 10 million households right now are single parent households. The number of single family households has tripled since 1965. Don't think that's hard to understand why right now, because if you look at marriage numbers, the marriage numbers are down right now. So by default, those numbers are going up. And I think sometimes that there's not a correlation between the two. It also says that 75% of single family households are headed by mothers. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. So we're going to do tonight, we're going to have a conversation with four young ladies, and they're going to tell us about their experiences with single motherhood. And I'm going to bring all four of them up now at the same time. Bear with me here. Hello, ladies. Y'all can come off mute. If we get a little echo, I'll see if I can adjust it from my end, but I want all of you to be on initially. So how are you all doing tonight?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Man, don't look so nervous. It's just me. Nobody else is here. It's just me. Nobody's watching. We having a conversation. So first and foremost, man, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on and having the conversation. Um, I understand that for some degree, it takes a large level of transparency and courage to even come on and want to have these conversations, because I know sometimes people can, you can say something, especially when it's live like this, and it can be misinterpreted. So tonight, the one thing I want you guys to understand is that not trying to catch anybody up. We just want to have a real conversation about your experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, and just show people that there are a lot of single moms out there that are actually winning and winning in a big way. So, one by one, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and any information that you want the audience to know about you. And we'll start with Crystal.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. My name is Crystal Atkins. I reside in Alexandria, Louisiana. I am 33 years old. I have a master's degree from Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge, um, a master's degree in social work, which is definitely my passion, helping people and helping individuals. I graduated from LSU in 2013. So I've been practicing social work for quite some time at the clinical level. And I'm also a board approved clinical social worker. And I love everything that I do. And I'm excited to follow my passion, which ultimately just, aligns with my purpose.
Nice, nice. I could imagine that can be a very interesting line of work sometimes.
It never gets boring. I can tell you that every day is something new. And just when you think that you've heard about everything, it goes a little bit further.
I can understand that. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Turner, and I currently reside in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm an early Head Start teacher. I've been doing that for 11 years now. I have an associate's degree from Baton Rouge Community College, a bachelor's degree from Southern University, and I'm currently in the master's program at Grand Canyon University. Um, that's pretty much it right now.
Man, and tell us about this. Tell us about this amazing business that you have. Come
Oh,
on,
the
come on.
business, of course. I forgot the last
I'm not
time.
gonna let I'm not gonna let you miss the opportunity to plug yourself.
Right, I am the owner of R&B Treasures. I make and sell flavor pralines, the original flavor. Also, I ship, and trying to get into some other things with it too. And I just celebrated my first year business anniversary, January 8th. So
That's what's up.
I'm happy about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You'll get the gift soon.
I appreciate it.
All right. God's favorite entrepreneur. Let us know about
Hey,
yourself.
hey, yo, I'm Tisha Boast from Carrico, Louisiana. That's right outside of Lafayette. I'm a single mom of seven, happily divorced almost 10 years now. I'm a case manager for a a personal care service where we assist individuals with mental and physical disabilities. I'm a truly an entrepreneur at heart. God's favorite entrepreneur is my brand. So shameless plug. And I am
No,
also
no, no,
working
no
on
shame.
a candle line for men, a self-care line, um, beaumonsieur.com. So right now we're currently selling candles, wax melts, and we'll be bringing a men's spa, exclusive men's spa to the Baton Rouge area. So that's what we're working on.
I need to get with you for two things. Number one, I need to make my candle order so you can get that to me Sunday.
Yes,
But number
sir.
two, I also wanna order some of your t-shirts, because I think I want to start just finding like people who make t-shirts and just wear a different shirt on the platform every week. And that way we can, kind of plug your business, going live at least once a week so people can see me with the shirt on if they want to order it. We can give them
That'd
the
be dope.
website where they can order it at.
Thank you.
All right. Bianca, introduce yourself.
Well, hello, and good evening. My name is Bianca Tyson. I currently reside in Monroe, Louisiana, where I am a 10th grade English teacher. I received my Bachelor of Science degree in secondary education, concentration in English from the University of Louisiana at Monroe, and I received a Master's in Education degree from North Central University. I am 30 years old, and I only have one beautiful daughter who's just 2.
So basically, you're in social work too.
You know what? Hey, whatever we can do for them, it's all good.
Yeah, you in social work too, whether you know it or not.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so appreciate everybody for introducing yourselves, man. Great to see people achieving on a very high level, man. You guys represent yourselves well. So tonight we're just gonna have a conversation. Like I told you all, it's just me and y'all. Ain't nobody else watching, so there's no need for any nerves. We've actually had some conversations before we got started with this because I wanted to see if it was something that I could do and do it in a way that represented you all in a very great way. And the conversation that we've had off platform were absolutely amazing. I achieved what I wanted to in the groups. I wanted to get more information about single parenting and just see things from a women's perspective because, of course, I'm a guy. So I'm always going to see things a little bit differently than you all do. So I want to thank you all for educating me and helping me get up to speed with some of the things that you all see and go through on a daily basis. And of course, being transparent enough to have this conversation with me tonight. So I will start once again. I know Tisha did it and Bianca did it, but Crystal, what are the ages of your kids?
So I have two beautiful, amazing children. They are ages 7 and 11. The best gift my ex-husband ever gave me. I'm definitely blessed to have them. I have a boy and a girl.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
So yeah, it gets interesting.
And Jen, you are one daughter. And I don't know how old. I know she's in college. I don't know how old she is.
Yeah, I have a 19-year-old daughter. She's away at college at FAMU, first year there. So it's an adjustment not having her here, but I'm getting used to it.
I'm proud of you too because you said that and you didn't even tear up when you said it this time.
Everybody asked me that, like, have you been crying? And I was like, no, leave me alone. I'm trying to be all right with this thing.
Lord, when she first got ready to go to school, I was really worried about you, man. I'm like, man, like she looked like this is not gonna be good. I don't know if she gonna handle it, man. I'm about to call Crystal because she definitely gonna need a social worker the way she's looking right now.
Hit me up. I'm ready to start my private practice in about another year or so. Adjustment disorder, maybe. I don't know. We can figure it out.
It could be something else with these teenagers in college life. It might be something else going on. So yes, I will definitely keep you in mind.
I'm your girl. We can go through the DSM and we'll figure it out.
Yes, ma'am.
Tisha, what are the ages of your kids?
I have stair steps, literally. 16, 14, 13, 12, 9, 8, and 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you Crystal number 2.
Hit me up.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you her number 2 just by default. Man, God.
Any stress or anxiety?
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. Okay.
But I ain't gonna lie though. I mean, she be living her best life though. So I mean, she has to have the time management skills of a god. God,
yes,
that's a lot, man. And Bianca, what was your kid's age again?
She's only 2. I feel so. With everything I've heard, my bad. I feel like I don't belong.
No, because I mean, of everybody on the panel, you're probably the one that's still having, the temper tantrums and adjusting to nights and things like that. At least most of the other ladies have gotten beyond that point.
Ooh, and I can't wait to be beyond. I can't even imagine.
All right, ladies. So let me ask you a question, because I know a lot of times that, a lot of people don't deviate between being a single parent and being a single woman. I think there's a big deviation between the two. Single parent could mean that you are basically it. You don't really get a lot of support elsewhere. You're doing everything by yourself. A single woman can be somebody who's not actively in a relationship, not married, not really dating, but also gets a ton of support from the other parent. So I'll start with Crystal. Do you consider yourself, and I think I know, just based on some contextual clues that you kind of drop for us, would you consider yourself to be a single parent or a single woman?
I believe I have a different idea, like when it comes to single parent.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me.
Because so my idea is whomever, whether it be the mother or the father,
Mhm.
supporting the child primarily. I'm going to go with the Biden administration's tax and guidelines. Who does the child live with 6 months out of the year? So I feel like, I do receive a lot of support. I come from a huge family. My mom has 7 kids.
Nice.
So my sister lives a mile away from me. And my ex-husband, again, the second best present he gave me was his parents. So
Nice.
my kids are their first set of grandkids. So
All riding.
yeah. So I do have a lot of support, but I'm still going with single parent because, the grandparents are my sisters, are my siblings. They're not with me doing homework. They're not with me staying up while the kid is sick. They're there if I call them, and they may answer the phone in the middle of the night. My mom is a great support for me. So I'm going to go with a single parent, but I have good support. I have a pretty solid support system.
See, that was slick how she said she was going to go with the definition from the Biden administration. Now, y'all, look, she got some letters behind her name. And she, that was her little flex trying to show me that she's utilizing them letters behind her name. So I did. I did.
I mean, you gotta go with who the kid lives with 6 months out of the year, only because it's more than just, I mean, if your kid goes to a magnet school, you have to ensure that your kid maintains a certain GPA. So, while their dad is still involved, he gets them like every other weekend, which means that's 4 days out of a month. So it's typically on the weekend. So the weekend is fun time.
Yeah.
During the school, during Monday through Friday, whenever it's time for a project, it's me.
Yeah.
It's time to go to Hobby Lobby. It's time to go to Michael's, Walmart. Let's get on Pinterest. Let's figure out some things. So I'm still going with who does the kid live with 6 months out of the year.
I can dig that. All right, Jen, how do you identify? Single parent or single woman?
Definitely a single parent. My child's father was not active at all. So I made all of the decisions, doctor's appointments, field trips, all of that. So definitely identify with being a single parent. It's been very challenging. It was challenging. Let me say that it got better, but having to just make all of the decisions, to do everything, to figure everything out on my own, that was the thing. So definitely a single parent.
And looking at you and your daughter from a distance, man, like, first of all, y'all look like y'all could be sisters, but it looked like y'all have a real cool relationship where, there's a lot of respect there and things like that. So, that's kudos to you for that too, because I know, that sometimes that can be tough where there's that line between, being a kid's friend and being their parent. You want to make sure that they feel comfortable coming to you with anything, but at the same time, you still want to make sure that they know that you're the parent, you're a disciplinarian, and with that, there comes a certain level of respect. So from the outside looking in, it looks like you're doing an amazing job of balancing that.
Yeah, I've tried. I know, and I know that maybe some of the other ladies can attest to this, that sometimes we overcompensate for things that we feel like they're lacking because of the absent father, or not that much effort on the other parent, and so we try to overcompensate for things. But I have definitely driven that point home that I am not your friend. I am mom. And so we had a lot of fun. We still have a lot of fun. We do have a good relationship, and I'm grateful for it in spite of all of that. And so yeah, so the overcompensation, I think I still do that, but I'm a little bit better with that too. But yeah, we have a good relationship, but I definitely made an effort to make her understand that yes, we're going to have fun and we're going to do great things and we're going to build this relationship, but I'm mom before anything else.
Right. All right, Tish. Single parent,
All the
single
way.
woman.
Single parent all the way.
She said
Is
you ain't got
me.
to finish your statement.
I call my kids my homies. So it's literally me and my homies, all seven of them. Um, I get very, very, very little support. Um, which is why I have to hustle so hard. Um, let's see. I have family. They help out when need be. Um, Thankfully my oldest is 16, so legally, she can stay home with them. She can babysit and things like that. She's my literally my right hand. She cooks, whenever I'm out working a little later and stuff. So we have a lot of help in house. Being that they are so close in age, they literally can take care of each other, helping with homework, making sure, okay, I've taken my bath, it's your turn. um they all have a chore, so they know how to keep the house flowing while I'm out doing what we need, what I need to do. So single parent all the way.
But the thing I like about it, I know you say that you hustle, and Lord knows I know you do, but it looks like you all still find a lot of time to do a lot of family stuff, and that's important too. That's made it's
Right.
really important. So it doesn't, from the kids' perspective, it's not like mama just out there doing her thing, and she kind of forgot the fact that we here. So it's great that you have that balance between the work life and the home life, because I know for a lot of people, self included, that balance becomes very difficult. And I have the luxury of just having my two boys here, with their mom, and it's still hard for me to have that balance sometimes. So I know having to do a lot of that on your own and still have that balance between being able to do the professional thing, do the entrepreneur thing, and then still having the family aspect of it too. That's amazing, man. That's kudos to you for being able to balance that the way you do.
Right. And they definitely keep me on my toes when I'm slipping. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming. I'm not here to paint a pretty picture. A lot of days I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Coffee is literally my best friend. So whenever I'm slipping, okay, mama, we haven't done this in a while, or Sunday dinner is our biggest thing. What are you cooking today? So if I slip throughout the week, you best believe Sunday they coming for my head. So I gotta get it together.
I mean, that's good though. That they
So
that they can hold you accountable. And I think routines are important. As difficult
right,
as they are a lot of times to have them. Having their routine gives them something at the end of the day, at the end of the week, that they can look forward to. Because I mean, there will be
right,
times just between the professional lives and things like that where duty calls, and you won't be able to do all the things that you say you would like to do. But if there's a sense of on this day, everything stops specifically for you guys, and you hold true to that, I think that's a good thing too.
right.
Bianca, single parent, single woman.
Well, I'm going to consider myself a single parent. However, let me explain this. Unlike some of the women on this panel, I was not married. Neither I was not in a relationship either. When I conceived my child, so I didn't. And in my background of how I already thought was that it's either you want to be there or you don't, and I don't care if you don't. And I don't care if you do. I don't have either, it's because I'm gonna make it happen regardless. So it's not that I don't at all, bash that or whatever, because when you don't put fire into people, sometimes they just don't do. And that's just life. But I don't feel the need to do that. It's either you do or you don't. And if you don't, hey, I'm still gonna make it. So I'm saying single parent loosely, not to say that it wouldn't have or could have been different. It's just, that's how I take on life, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll admit, since we being transparent here, I'll have a transparent moment myself. My oldest daughter, I had my oldest daughter when I was 17 years old. My second child was a daughter also. I had her when I was 21 years old. Naturally, wasn't married to the first daughter's mom. I was still in high school. That would have been odd. Second daughter, I married her mom, and we got a divorce when my daughter was 9. So then I have 2 boys here that live with me, and I can honestly say that me personally, I didn't understand how kids really look to their parents for guidance, and they look to them, for that role model type thing. I honestly didn't understand. I know that may sound crazy, but I didn't. Now having these boys here, it's totally different because they've made me kind of adjust a lot of the things that I do, a lot of the things that I say, a lot of the things that I do, because they are sponges. They really emulate every single thing that I do. So I definitely look at it from a different perspective. In a perfect world, I'd have been able to be with all 4 of my kids from beginning to end. That's not the way things played out. So I have a new respect for parenthood. Both of my girls grew up in amazing households. You'll never hear me say anything totally derogatory about any of them. Their moms did an excellent job raising them. And I'll honestly say that I wasn't present as I would have liked to been, knowing who I am now in the way that I, want to conduct myself and be a father. So kudos to them for doing the things that they did with me not being there as much as I would have liked to be. And I understand now that women take on a lot in those roles. And I don't think men really understand a lot of what women go through when it goes to those situations. Um, I really honestly believe that women mature faster than men do at an early age. Now, don't y'all start smiling and clapping because we catch up quick. So don't get it twisted. But
Well, I wanted to chime in. I'm sorry, I wanted to chime in on that with you, because I actually, when you we think about that question, I said that, and I said I just don't think men realize, because of course obviously we go to the hospital. Who gets the baby? The baby is handed to you as the mother. It's not that whole obligation or feeling of not that they have to, but it's just not that same deal. If we sit up here and said we left the hospital and said, okay, somebody come get this baby, that's a whole, and I don't think it's not that they don't want, or men don't, they just don't realize, if that makes sense.
And like I say, I'm one to admit it. I don't consider myself, an insensitive guy. I don't consider myself to be a bad guy by any stretch of the imagination. But as I've gotten older and as I've matured, I realized that there were a lot of instances where I personally could have stepped up and done a lot more than I did. Even though we didn't live in the same household and things like that, my obligation basically was still the same. So, I always, now I really understand how when people say that, are you really mature enough to have a child? Because physically, with your body, you can have a child whenever Mother Nature says you're ready to have one. But mentally, are you prepared for it? Do you
Can I kind
have?
of chime in?
Sure.
And based off of what Bianca said, I think society kind of plays a role in it as well.
Mhm.
Like society teaches the mother just to be nurturing. Society teaches, I remember just being young, my mom and my grandmother forced me into a kitchen because I had to know how to cook, because I'm going to eventually grow up and be a wife and be a mother, and my brothers, they were outside playing and climbing the trees. So, I have 5 brothers. So I wanted to be outside with my brothers. The last place that I wanted to be was in the kitchen,
I'm telling
learning
you, the
how to
tomboy.
cook.
You the tomboy.
Little bit, little bit. But I think it goes back to society and society not teaching or not really showing our men as being caring, nurturing, just as a woman would be caring and nurturing to a mother. I mean to a child, I'm sorry.
Now, that's the one thing I will give my grandmother credit for. My grandmother, she made sure that my tail knew my way around the kitchen. I grew up in the country, so she made sure, you gonna cook breakfast. You're gonna learn how to cook breakfast first. A breakfast, I can cook breakfast and I can make a mean pot of coffee just because I live with my grandmother.
Now, did your grandmother give you a baby and say, here's a baby doll. Play with this baby doll for a little bit?
Oh no, man. Look, tell you something about my grandmother.
See?
My grandmother, and to this day, I will tell anybody this. Anybody that deals with me, if you love me, thank my grandmother for it. If you find any flaws in my character, thank my grandmother for it. Am I spoiled? Absolutely. Thank my grandmother for it. My grandmother had me so spoiled that she would cook dinner, and I'm a very, very picky eater. She would prepare what she was going to eat, and she prepared my meal. Love my grandmother. God bless you, mama. All right. So, second question. So what do you think is the most difficult aspect of being a single parent that in a lot of situations gets overlooked? I mean, we know that, sometimes there are, sacrifices of time. There's a lot of sacrifice of energy, having to get up and do things for the kids sometimes when you're there by yourself. So what do you think is the most overlooked aspect of being a single parent? And I'll go in reverse all this time. So I'll start with Bianca.
And I guess it's because I am in this stage. I think it's the teaching phase. Like, they don't. For me, I'm not gonna lie. My mental is being tested by potty training at the moment. And I think that this is what it is. And I think that for those instances, it gets kind of rough, and it gets kind of rough on your mental. You're wondering why your child's not doing this at this age, or why they're not doing this at this age, and it's kind of like somebody else can pop in and say, well, they questioning. First of all, you have not been here to see X, Y, Z and how much I've worked through A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. It's one of those things. And so I guess it's that frustration. I guess, and also I'm a teacher, and so I think I keep in that headspace. So like it's the teaching and the guiding part, I think.
Okay, and I guess it's even deeper than just that part because you're basically you're basically responsible for helping to mold a personality, especially in those younger years. As people get older, eventually they morph into what they're going to morph into. But in a lot of situations, man, that those first years are that foundation. So you find a lot of kids, who are discipline problems when they're real young and things like that. And as they grow up, that attitude and that temperament tends to follow them. So those first couple years, man, majorly important that they get them, you get them on the right track and at least get them to be probably a bad term, but a decent human being. Tisha, um, most difficult yet overlooked aspect of being a single parent.
I think Jennifer tapped into it a little bit before when she was talking about her daughter. For me, mine would honestly be the balance of not being their friend and
Mhm.
overcompensating. Um, Being that I have the age range from 16 to 4, my 16-year old, excuse me, we grew up together. I had her at 17. I married her dad at 18. So by the time I even graduated high school, I had 2 children and I was married. So I've been a mother, for most of my life. Um, and then of course once we divorced and he wasn't as present as he should have been, He had his moments where he was kind of in and out. So I wanted to make sure that they always knew that I was there. I never wanted to be the bad parent. If he promised something and didn't follow through, I would come through with it, even though it wasn't my promise, just because I didn't want them to like that. And then now my older ones are in this boyfriend and girlfriend stage.
Oh,
Um, can I go here? Um, their lady time. And then I have my little ones who just want LOL dolls. The 4-year-old is learning to speak French. So I literally have to adjust across the board. Um, I have my oldest son, he's a football player. Now his new thing is track. And it's like, I really want to be their best friend. Um, my struggle, honestly, is discipline. Because like I said, when I got divorced, I didn't want to whip them because then I felt like the bad parent. I didn't want to punish them because I felt
mm.
like the bad parent. So I did a lot of talking. I did a lot of talking. If you don't stop, I'm gonna count to 3, and the next thing you know, I'm on number 10. However, they are really good kids. They go to school, they're respectful, so they're good where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
At home, it's a different story. Um, so that's my issue. Like, I guess you would say it's overlooked. Because from the outside looking in, you can't tell, that when we get home, we're a little
All
down.
hell break loose.
Yes.
She go from
Yes.
perfectly mannerable kids to Iraq in a heartbeat.
Yes. Yes.
But so I'm looking at Jennifer, man. I can't even imagine Jennifer being mad. Talking about whooping somebody. She's like that parent that just, plead with them like, man, look, it's gonna hurt me way more than it's gonna hurt you.
Honestly, I have not had to whip my daughter a lot, but
That's
I've
a
had to
blessing.
go there though. There have been times when she was younger, and it wasn't a disrespect or anything. It was just like writing on my wall, just doing stuff like that. So it wasn't anything too bad. But yes, I have the ability to whip a child if I have to. Thank you. And discipline if I need to. But I think that one of the struggles is because what I dealt with, I'm mom, so I got it all together. I'm gonna figure it all out. I'm gonna take care of everything, and that's just false. I don't have it all together. I don't know it all. I'm not supposed to be doing this on my own, but here I am. And that's actually a point that I made to my child's father one time, is that it's easy for you to not do because I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take care of this stuff. I'm not going to let her go without. I'm going to figure it out. So it's easy for you to just sit back and say, oh, well, she'll take care of it. And that was an issue with some family members, and also with school and stuff like that. Like, it was just all on me. And the expectation is, oh, well, you're a mom. So, and even my child, well, you're mom, you know everything. You have all the answers. No, I don't. I'm actually falling apart. But in front of you, I'm going to act like I have it all together.
So in a situation like that, and I know Crystal probably can speak to this much better than me, that there's always a situation where you need to have an outlet. You can't just keep all of that, inside and not be able to voice it. So in those situations, where do you go as an avenue to vent and to be able to have those moments of vulnerability when the kid's not around?
I have close friends. And there was a single mom ministry at my old church
Nice.
that I was able to connect with and vent. And that's when I really realized, it's not just me going through it. And so it helped a lot to vent, to cry, to just sit there and be quiet if I didn't have the words. That was a big help to me. And also I leaned on my mom a lot too, because my parents were married, but they got divorced when I was 11. And so when my dad moved away, my mom just took over and did everything. So we were able to relate on that level. And I was able to see her side of things, because as a teenager, I gave her hell because I didn't understand what was going on. And so being a single mom now, I get it. So I was able to lean on my mom and then the ministry at my church.
Yeah, and I think that's a level of maturity that a lot of people have to come to. It's okay to need those resources. It's okay to have those moments where you need somebody to talk to. Even as adults, if it's not anything relating to parenting and things like that, we always need to have somebody that you can talk to, that you can vent to, that won't judge you based on your situation, that you can totally be vulnerable and let your guard down with. Very important. But I know in today's society, it's hard to find those people because for a person to like to run their mouth, giving them your life story is just ammunition for them to go back and have a soap opera over the phone with somebody else. So, Crystal, what you got, man? What's the most difficult part of being a single parent that kind of goes under the radar?
I'm gonna kind of plug off of what Jennifer said. The most difficult part of single parenting is finding that balance for yourself versus what they need. I have two kids, 7 and 11. One is involved in travel ball, and the other one is involved in gymnastics. And if anybody knows anything about travel baseball, you in Shreveport one weekend, the next weekend you in Lafayette, the other weekend you in Baton Rouge, and you at practice 2 days a week. So, totally transparent moment. I would sit there and I would sit on the cry because I was so overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do, like how to balance my life, you know. But there's a saying in the therapy world that a lot of therapists say is that every good therapist needs a therapist. So I ended up going to therapy, and my therapist, I went to a doctor first, and the doctor wanted to place me on Xanax. And I, as a therapist, know what Xanax can do to you. So I opted to not receive the Xanax. And I said, hey, let me just try some therapy and let me try to increase my time into the gym. So in return, I've become a gym head. And I graduated from being a gym head to doing CrossFit. So I am in the gym at least 45 minutes to an hour a day. So that was my outlet because, again, I would sit on the floor and cry because I thought I had to have all the answers. I thought I had to be perfect. I mean, I thought I had to iron the kids' clothes for the week and just have everything laid out after the divorce. It was a lot of stress.
And I guess there would be like some added stress because you're a social worker, so by trade your job is to help other people to get their situations under control. But here I am inside my own four walls, and it doesn't seem to be any type of order here. So I get that part. And I'm gonna tell you something that I realized. I didn't plan on being transparent tonight, but what the heck? I'm gonna tell you something that I realized that pisses a mom off. And I don't, men, we don't do it purposely. It's just something that happens. You guys are there every day. There's a level of expectation from the kid because mom is there every day. Mom goes without a lot of times because they're there every day. A dad can dad can come in and do, I can bring a two-piece white and a biscuit. And my two-piece white and a biscuit holds more weight than y'all keeping lights on, keeping the roof over their head. They gonna brag about their two-piece and a biscuit because dad does it because the level of expectation is so much lower. And it took me a minute to grasp that. I really wish that I really wish I could go back in time with the level of maturity that I have now and be the dad then that I am now. Like sometimes that bothers me because I feel like that my daughters didn't get this version of me. Had my daughters gotten this version of me, would things have been differently? So um there will be a time when the guys will look back, hopefully, and they'll question a lot of the things that they did or didn't do. And I mean, hopefully y'all can have that come to Jesus moment where, you know, you can make amends and, you know, do whatever it is you do when you make amends, I guess. All right. So question 5. How has being a parent affected your social life? We'll go back to Crystal to start the rotation this time.
Okay. Um, with the gym, I have learned to find balance in parenting. Um, if my son has baseball practice, I'll ask one of the other parents that I truly trust, hey, can you pick him up from his grandparents' house and get him to practice? And I'll come back and get him afterwards. I'm just going to meet with a friend after work. So I think the imperative part of being a single parent is truly finding balance. So that's how I've been able to have the social life to compete in the CrossFit competitions, to travel, and to work 3 jobs. I have found balance in saying, like you said earlier, this particular day, and I think Tish does it with her kids. This particular day is set aside for you guys and you guys only.
Mm-hmm.
Other days maybe mommy time. And in the summer, we go on 2 vacations. They go on a vacation and mommy goes on a vacation.
Nice.
So they understand that mommy's cup has to be filled in order for me to pour into their cup and not get so frustrated if they make a mistake, and just allow them some grace when parenting. So um, my social life has become way better once I learned how to balance.
Nice. Nice. And that, man, but like real talk, like that says a lot about your parenting skills because, man, a lot of kids selfish, man. A lot of kids ain't trying to hear that mama gotta have a life too. What you mean? Hell, I am your life. You talking about you a vacation for you, man. Get out of here. We packing our bags now.
I'm a therapist, so
You
I can
go,
spend.
I'm going.
I'm a therapist, so I can spend it. I went to a J. Cole concert. I'm a J. Cole fan. I absolutely love J. Cole. So my daughter goes, "Well, Mom, you never took me to a concert." And I was like, "I was going to take you to JoJo Siwa, but they canceled the concert. Don't you remember the tickets?" And I did have her tickets, in all honesty, I did. But that was around the time when COVID hit. But I've explained to them, mommy needs her time and they need their time away from me too, because I'm sure they don't want to hear me saying, clean your room, pick up your clothes, don't put that there, don't touch that. So they need their time away from me, just like I needed my time away from them. And we still love each other to death, but that time is so important.
Yeah. And Tiff made a post. Let me see if I can find it. Um, I think that's real. That she thinks that the most difficult part of single parenting is just being an individual. As a parent, it's hard to just find individual purpose because you're so consumed with being mom. So just the simple fact of being able to understand that, even though, biblically, that's part of the reason why God has you guys here to help repopulate the world. That does not mean that that is your only purpose in life. And I know sometimes, a lot of women get to the point to where they focus so hard on being a good mom, especially if they felt that they were slighted as a child. They didn't really get the attention that they needed from their parent. Like Jennifer said, sometimes they try to overcompensate and they end up losing themselves. And I mean, that makes it difficult for everybody.
Can I chime
Jen.
in on that part right quick?
Yeah, sure.
On the comment. So for me, it was a total opposite. Because all I ever wanted to be was a wife and a mother. I never wanted to work. Excuse me. I really wanted 7 children. I wanted the big family. So I'm having to learn it backwards now. Whereas, for most women, they have that mother, mother, mother. That's always been my thing. So for me now, I'm having to come back. Okay, you can't hustle all the time. So I think I finally began to really learn the balance of that around 2019 when I opened my first business. So it took a while for me to get that balance because all I wanted to do was be a mother. So I was perfectly fine with it consuming all of my time. And now I'm learning the difference because I kind of go from one extreme to the next, either mother 100% or hustler 100%. So now I'm finally learning, to meet in the middle. So it can kind of go either way.
Yeah, we need rehab together. Um, that's actually one of the things that I mean, y'all follow me on Facebook, man. Y'all know I'm all over the freaking place, man. But I've said that in 2022 that I was gonna divest myself from a lot of things that I want to focus on. I wanted to focus on trying to find me. Um, I was watching, I can't remember what I was watching one day, but um it was a show about parenting. And I think you guys should try this exercise. It said you get a sheet of paper and you make two columns. On the left column, you write down everything that you used to enjoy before you became a parent. On the right column, you write down everything that you currently do as a parent to find joy. And after you write your left column and your right column, you compare the two. Now, there's going to be some trade off. You can't do everything that you did when you were younger now that you're a parent. And 9 times out of 10 is a maturity level there that some of the things you did back then you don't even want to do anymore. But you look at the two lists and you compare them. There should be some parallels there. There should be some consistency in the list. There should be some new things that you've added because, of course, your social circle is different. Financially, you're probably in a different place. But there should be some common things there between what you did before the kids and what you're doing now. And the whole exercise is just kind of to show that you don't need to overcompensate. If the list goes from you did 100 things when you were younger, now you find joy in watching Golden Girls and chilling, then you need to reassess some things and just find something that you do that you actually find pleasure in. Because even though you are a parent, even though you are a professional, even though some of you are entrepreneurs, there still has to be that balance. And I'm preaching to myself right now. I know y'all got it all together because y'all like that. But Jen, how do you find that being a parent has affected your social life?
Well, like Tiffany in the comments said, it did consume me. It was all I did. I just took care of my child. I went to work. I came home. I took care of my child. I went to work. I came home. And so for a long time, I thought that that was it. That's what parenting is. I don't need much of a social life. And I've gone out a time or two, but not really doing anything for myself. Not really doing a lot of self-care, just basically taking care of her. But as she got older, and I realized I wanted more in life, that's when I decided, you know what, I'm important too. And I can still prioritize my child and my job and everything else and still have my time also. So it took a long time for me to get there. But I think as she got older and she became more independent, especially with her driving and going away to college, that all that anxiety was like, well, what am I going to do with myself? Because I'm so used to taking her here and doing it. It was all about her. What am I going to do with myself now that she's about to go away to school? And so that's where a lot of the anxiety came from, trying to adjust with her being away. But, she left and something just clicked like, okay, you got to take care of yourself. And I also, when my parents passed away last year, that was another wake up call for me also, because I spent a lot of time taking care of them. And so when they were gone and my daughter's older, it's like, what do I do now? And so that was the wake up call that I needed to prioritize myself and make sure that I'm getting my time, whether if it's just go and take a walk or go and get my nails done or whatever. It's that time for me when I'm taking care of myself. So I got more of a social life closer to the time when she was getting ready to leave. But I'm happy for the experience, though. Being a parent, that's like one of the best things that could have happened to me. I had my daughter at 21 and I was totally lost, had no clue about who I was or what I wanted to do. And so it is a great experience. And just watching her grow up and actually seeing the fruit of my labor is very rewarding. So now it's my time.
So, how many? You have any siblings?
I have a sister and a brother.
Okay, so at least the whole thing of helping to care for the parent hopefully was not all on your back.
No, my sister took care of my mom, and I mainly took care of my dad. Well, we helped with
Nice,
my mom, but I mainly took care of my dad.
nice, 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 nice.
Hmm.
So little Jen at home right now, refrigerator open. She drinking out the jug in the refrigerator because the kid ain't there to judge her. She living her best life right now.
I
How
ate,
Jen got her
and
groove
I
back.
love every minute of it.
Tish, man, Tish got a social life. I ain't for the trip on Tish. Tish social life, man. How has the having the kids affected your social life?
Um, lately it has not.
I was just
I'll
about
be
to
honest
say.
and
I'm pretty
say,
sure with you, it's
yeah,
probably two tails of the tape.
yeah. I was about to say in the beginning it was pretty hard because I honestly didn't have one. But now most of my friends they do have children, so we're able to do a lot of things together. To where so I still kind of get the interaction with my girlfriends, and then they get to hang with the other kids as well. So it's kind of a two-part thing. Um, 2019, I went on my first solo trip. I had a whole lot of mom guilt, a whole lot of mom guilt.
I
I
figured
probably
that.
called, I probably called more than I enjoyed my time away. Last year I went on a trip by myself. I didn't call at all. I don't think. I totally enjoyed so I'm learning to have the balance. Once a month I do try to do something by myself. Pancakes are my favorite, so I make sure that I get to enjoy pancakes alone.
Hold up, say,
I get my
hold up,
nails.
hold up, rewind. Say it again.
I said pancakes are my favorite.
See, yeah,
So once a
see,
month,
I spoken like a true mom. You know what I'm saying? Most people be like, took a vacation. I went to Hawaii. We stayed there for a couple weeks, and I felt the need to do something special for myself. So I went and bought me a car. Went got me a bag. Tish
no,
say,
no, I will
"Hey,
literally leave
got me
work
some
and drive to New
pancakes."
Orleans and get pancakes.
Got some
I will
pancakes.
travel for good pancakes. So so now, like I said, it doesn't really affect me too much. Because like I said, they know the importance of um me having my alone time. I do let them know when I started counseling, about the anxiety and the depression that I was experiencing. So they know whenever I really, really need a mental health break. With them, I make sure to do mental health checks, just to let them know, hey, mommy's not doing good right now. I am prescribed medicine. I try my best not to take it. But they know, okay, so we're gonna have to let her go so she can come back and be her best self. Otherwise, it's not a good look. So I think me being transparent with them has allowed them to show me grace, and then I can
Hmm.
then in turn show them that grace. For the longest I hid it, I'm okay, I'm super mom, I literally wear the S on my chest. And then one day I told them I'm falling apart. And then once I
Yeah.
realized that, hey, all it takes is just an honest conversation, it truly freed me of a lot, and now I'm able to truly walk around happy, and joyous, and not portray to be that way. And I think it works better, with the kids as well.
Well,
So
that's good, man. I mean, I know you all don't look at it that way because most moms are usually the last person. Well, I won't say most moms because there are some that I took the trash out of mom of the year and stuff like that. But most people don't really give themselves the credit for a lot of the small victories. And see, what I'm hearing from all of you, man, is that all of you have very mature kids, very understanding kids. And that does not happen by accident. So, kudos to you all for raising, awesome kids. Bianca, social life, man. How's it working out?
Well, yeah, my baby is definitely not mature, but but she's not supposed to be.
Oh, she
But
two. She can hang with up your child too. There's
huh?
no.
No, but the thing about it is, I think it's so funny. It's not funny, but it is funny. That when I had her, it was in the late part of 2019, and we all know what happened in 2020. The
Right.
whole world shut down.
Right.
So it was almost like, everybody had to stop with me. And it's not, hey, sometimes I'm like, everybody had to stop. Hey, everybody stop. But also though, that was kind of taxing on me, with that instance. So, it's like no social life. And that meant like no, adult contact whatsoever in a new phase of a new life that I was building. It's like it kind of it was a bit rough. So social life had to end. But I will say though that it helped me in having her help me to relate better to people who were professionally on my level. I actually, gained a group of friends, professional friends that understand, and I'm able to speak with them now about the trials and tribulations of being a parent. Of course, they're older than me, so like I'm, my baby is just 2, but they have children in college, they have children, in high school, middle school, and everything like that. So they get it. And after the pandemic, well, excuse me, we're still in it, but we have to see each other, on a daily, because we work together. And it's almost like I say, they understand me, and they are more apt to want to help me to still be social, if that makes sense. They're,
Yeah.
they're the lifeline to say, okay, all right, come with us and do this. Or if you want to go here, I got, what I'm saying? I got you. I'm your babysitter, and vice versa. So I think that has really, that whole, building block kind of really helped me in the long run. And I will say, before that, my social life was not the healthiest. And I always tell people that my daughter was my blessing. I actually lost my grandmother in January, and I got pregnant with her in May. And I always say, like, that was, my grandma was my mother, basically. So
Mhm.
so it kind of like, it's all building. And I have to say, like, that point of my life was the lowest. So it all builds from there. And it's been amazing since then.
Yeah. And that's awkward how it works out that way sometimes.
Yeah.
How you can go from having the support system to being the support system in the blink of an eye. So, shout out to you for making that transition and doing it as seamlessly as you did. Here comes a kid that you're bringing into the world who you have to mold. And then in the same instance, she almost was like you say, a blessing to you. She kind of anchored you to the fact that you had to get yourself together, and then you live your life for her. So they say, God has a plan
She
that
does.
most of us are never privy to. So
I agree.
kudos to you for that, and kudos for being so transparent about that. I appreciate that. Man, I just got to stop on that for a minute, because that's really heavy. If you look at that, I'm a philosopher at heart. I look at everything. I think everything in this world happens for a reason. There are no coincidences. There is a divine purpose for everything that happens. And it's like God just knew that if he took something from you, that the only way that he could balance you off was to bring something from you that was just as big, that he knew that you had to grow, and that you had to mature, and that you had to step into a role that you may not have been prepared for, because now it's not all about you. Now you go from being the baby to having a baby, and that's an amazing transition, man. It's a lot of maturity that has to happen there. So, uh, leave. I'm
I
gone.
apologize.
Oh, nah, man, this good stuff, man. I apologize for me over analyzing.
Oh no, it's
I don't know.
fine.
I think I was a philosopher in the previous life, so don't pay me no mind. Um, Next question, and this one's a doozy. So if you want to answer, great. If you choose not to answer it, great. But how has having kids affected dating, the next level of your social life? because now, especially as a mom, there are a lot of things you have to think about when you get into the dating arena with kids. So go back to Bianca. We're gonna start back with her again. We're gonna go backwards. Cause Crystal looking like she got something she really want to say. I'm gonna say her the last. So Bianca, how has being a parent, especially a parent of a 2-year-old, affected your dating life?
I mean, it's definitely complicated.
You have a
I
girl,
mean,
right? You have a girl, or boy.
she's a girl. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that takes on a whole nother like obstacle with it. I will say I haven't had much success, but hey, and I think but the thing, but in all honesty, and I will want, it was crazy because Tish said this earlier, and I had actually never planned to be married or have kids. That wasn't a dream of mine. It was never a goal. So I wanted to go to school. I was career oriented. That's what I wanted to do. And then I got intertwined, and then I saw, okay, relationships are okay, but then I realized they're not. So it's like now in my point in life, it's just it's going back to not being a necessity. I mean, companionship is something that humans do need. I mean, but as far as like, am I actively seeking to be married or actively seeking to have a life partner at this point? No.
And I'm finna go into my over philosophy mode again. If you really want to get deep with it, that's really not your responsibility anyway. Like all you really have to do is become the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
Become confident in who you are. Get yourself stable so that whenever I won't say God because I really don't believe in God bringing you a man. A lot of it is just right place, right time, which I guess could be God too. But a lot of it is just getting yourself where you need to be so that whenever that person does come, he sees you as an asset and not a project. Because I know there are a lot of people who wait until they find a man, and then once they find a man, now they want to get themselves together. No, you're a project. Nobody looking for no project. So, take this time to heal yourself to a certain degree and prepare yourself because, like you say, once if a man sees you and you're what he's been looking for, regardless of what it is that there may be, it helps him a whole lot if he can come to a situation where, of course, there are going to be some wounds that we have to heal, but having to heal a wound and having to rebuild a woman is two different things.
Well, I agree, and I also do want to say, my personality trait doesn't. And that's, I guess I need to come to counseling. Crystal, I'm gonna be in your office.
Make it happen.
I am like that caregiver. Like, I want to make everybody's needs is more valuable than myself, and I know that. And so now I'm at the point where I'm shifting. I'm trying to put my own, so it's like I know whatever I attract is gonna be a fixer upper. We don't need any more fixer uppers. we don't need fixer uppers. So anyway, we're not bashing anybody. I'm just talking about me.
That's real talk though. Because
So I know that
you
about
got some
myself.
guys out there who would absolutely take your kindness for a weakness and take you down the road that you definitely don't want to go down. And all that does is, speaking from experience, all it does is just make the ordeal for the next guy just that much more difficult. So Bianca, I'm finna hit you with something. You may want to get your tissue ready.
And I a drop of a hat. So
Tiff just made another post. She said God always replaces what he removes. The little girl, especially because there's definitely an angel amongst her. You are bringing back some memories. So I guess she has a similar situation that she can relate to. And I guarantee, if you look at your daughter, I bet that there are probably, as she matures, there'll be mannerisms, there'll be some type of physical features that when you see it, it would absolutely remind you of your grandmother. Firm believer in it. All right, Tish. Dating, man. How's this dating thing going, Tish? Now we've had some conversations, so I mean, talk to me. How's this
It
thing
is
going?
quite interesting. It's quite interesting. Let's see. I don't have a problem attracting a man. My problem is attracting a man of substance. People hear and see that I have 7 children, and they automatically equate that with being loose and free and wild, which is definitely not the case. So, um, I actually desire to get married again. I actually desire the companionship and everything. There's nothing more that I love than a black man. So I'm definitely praying that God does his thing real soon.
I didn't, I
So
didn't, I didn't hear that. Would you mind repeating that for
there's nothing
myself?
more than I love than a black man. So I'm praying.
We were having some audio problems, so do you mind saying that one more time?
I am praying, that God sends my mister, a black one preferably. Um, but no, seriously. Um, that is the hardest thing is I not saying of course that my children are a blocker, but for some people it can be a lot to say, oh, this lady has 7 children, I'm interested in her, and then they automatically assume that you're coming in to take care of us, or that I'm looking for a dad for my children, which I'm definitely not, and you for doggone sure don't have to come take care of us. Because if anything, mama got it on lock. So you're anything that you do is an asset, or is additional. But most people won't even give it a shot simply because, oh, she's 33 with 7 children. So they think it's a lot of baby daddy drama or things of that nature. Um, or they automatically assume that I'm giving it up left and right. Just being 100% honest and transparent. So I think for me, my issue is just having the conversation. Um, if a mature person were to approach me and just have an open and honest conversation, you would actually learn some truth. And you'd actually be surprised, about a whole lot of things. Um, Typically, if I do meet someone, it may not go anywhere, but then I've gained a really, really good friend, which is still a plus because every relationship or every friendship or every connection, excuse me, won't lead to a relationship. And I'm okay with that, but don't automatically write it off as though, I'm discarded goods, because that I'm definitely not. So I do think and I know that any man that would come to me, I will add value to his life. Um, but it's just a matter of getting, past single woman, 7 children. We're taking on a project, because I'm going through the phases of counseling. So I'm already doing the healing. I'm doing the work on my part. Um, they good. We don't need nobody to come in here, and play Superman. I know how to submit, so I don't have that problem. But I definitely don't need anybody to feel like they're taking on a charity case either.
Tish, you said a whole lot of things that you said a whole lot of things, man. We're gonna have to talk because I got another show that I want to do. You've said some words that I don't really find a lot of women saying, and you said it like it came out. So I mean, it wasn't scripted.
Right.
You said the S word that a lot of people have problems with. Is not a lot of people who actually verbalize the fact that they want to be a wife. A lot of people say, well, if it happens, it happens. And, a lot of times you can speak things into existence, but a lot of people are afraid to say that they actually want to be a wife. And you said that from day one that you wanted to be a mom. Like a lot of people, unfortunately, don't really plan it out like that mentally to say that they want to be a mom. So yeah, we're gonna have to chop it up, man. I got some other things I want to do that I think,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that'll be hot. Jen, well, Jen too busy popping that fridge open, drinking that Hawaiian punch because she home by herself now. So what's the dating life looking like, Jen? How had being a mom affected? I mean, I know right now you free to do whatever because she's not there, but previously when she was home with you, how did it look?
It was hard because you really have to be careful with who you bring around your child.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the issue for me. And so once I see, oh, this is not going right or something's going on, I cut it off. And so that was the hard part, that I couldn't just be fancy free with whoever, because anybody who I connect with is going to be connected to my child.
Mm-hmm.
So I really had to be mindful of who I was connecting myself to. And so that's when I started thinking about standards and boundaries and all that kind of stuff. And so if you crossing boundaries and you're not respecting what I have going on here, then you got to go. If you're not serious, if you're playing around, I can't bring that around my child. I can't bring that type of example around my child, because she's going to get older and have to make decisions about who she connects herself with.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be mindful of all of that. And it's been a lot of disappointments. It's been a lot of, oh, if I didn't have a child, okay, but I do, so no.
Mm.
There's a lot of that. So it's easier now, of course, because she's older and now she thinks it's weird that I'm dating, because I was consumed with her. We had our social life together. So for her to see me dating someone now, she's happy, but it's like, Mom, this is weird. I don't want to talk about this. But it's more easier now. But then it was really, really hard. And then another side of that, just transparent, I'm celibate. So that was another issue when you're dating. A lot of men these days aren't celibate. They want all the action before commitment. So
I don't know. I don't know a brother that
oh,
is.
you wouldn't know about that, huh?
I don't know. I don't know a brother that is.
Oh,
I know a lot of dudes. I don't know one.
oh, okay. Well, just on my end, I'm sorry. I know you might not know any.
I don't know one.
But yeah, that's another issue too, because I didn't want to keep having children for different men and all that. I didn't want to do any of that, and I just didn't want to take the chance of being a single parent again. So I made a decision to be celibate. So that was another issue with that as well. So that it was pretty hard, but right now it's pretty good.
If I could chime in, I just want to say that Jennifer, like I really relate to you. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I your story and everything that that has scared you through, I really do. Like I it's like with that, having the girl and not, you can't bring everybody around you. This all all of that, like this, yeah. I feel like I'm right here with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We are here.
Y'all creating a new support group. There's a new outlet here that y'all can have.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's why I was
Absolutely.
like, I feel like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm inbox me, girl.
I got you.
We'll exchange phone numbers.
Indeed.
All right, Crystal, what the dating scene looking like? Deep breath. Deep breath.
I mean, I kind of agree with all of y'all. I mean, let me just first say that I appreciate the transparency amongst this
100%.
panel.
100%.
Like I feel it deep. Like, I'm just so appreciative of the transparency. I got a daughter and I got a son and I'm a therapist. So let me tell y'all, I have heard some stories where I think I have endured secondhand trauma, with family members, doing things. And, I think I have endured some secondhand trauma. So, like you all have said, it's very important, who you place around your kids. And you also have to look at it from, this total person in general. Like, is this a person like Tish mentioned, is this a person of substance that I want around my kids? Is this a person that's going to be able to train my kids grow my kids into being, the gentleman or the woman that they're supposed to be, or they're gonna come beside me and be my helpmate. I too, like Tish, am looking for my husband. I am dating right now. I am dating someone. It's been going pretty good. I haven't had very, I will say though, I have been single for 6 years. Because the dating scene is just, whoo, yes, it's, for lack of better words, it's trash.
Bianca went.
I was gonna say trash. I'm glad you said it. It's literally trash.
For lack of better words, it's just trash because I mean, it's so hard just to find somebody to have a decent conversation with, like things that spark your interest, and it's been difficult, but I am dating now. So I am dating someone now. So I do want to be a wife if I have not said that already. Again. So, I feel like
it's important to hear.
Yeah, the first one was my trial run. I'm ready now.
And like Tish said it earlier. That was the one thing that she said that I kind of questioned a little bit. About if a guy comes in, what would his role be? And I'm me personally, I'm just real big on that providing thing. Anybody that know me know that that's one thing that I go hard for. I believe that a man should be a provider, and I understand that coming into a situation where there are already kids there, there's an adjustment. There's an adjustment for the man, an adjustment for the woman too. But I couldn't imagine meeting a woman that already had kids and coming into the understanding with her that, hey, your focus should be on me. Don't worry about the kids because I'm gonna take care of the kids because I was doing that before you came into the picture. At that point, I would feel like that I'm really not fulfilling my purpose as a man. The mandate for the man is laid out, and it doesn't come with exceptions. It doesn't come with you have to provide asterisk unless. If I step into the situation, then honestly, I understand what I'm stepping into. There may be a conversation about exactly how that looks because it looks different for everybody. But if you're a man and you meet a woman that has kids, then to me, it's just second nature that, you know, you're not daddy. I understand that part about it, but there is a paternal duty that comes with that, especially if it's somebody that you plan on being with long term, that you want to invest in, that you want to have a future with. There's definitely a paternal role that has to go into that. Now, I understand for a lot of ladies that have been single for a prolonged period of time, or for women that have had bad experiences, a lot of times it may be difficult to relinquish that role or to welcome somebody in with your guard down to step into that role. And I think that's where communication comes in. That's where being totally transparent comes in. At and I think as men, we need to do a better job at making women feel safe. And this is just the maturity part of me coming out, because there was a time in my life that I didn't understand that. And we always think that when it comes to security, that security just means physical security. But there, and I mean, some people say it's not, some people say it is, but there is absolutely a financial component to that. So, they say money don't buy you love, but it's a little bit easier to love when it's there. It's a little bit easier to let some guard down when it's there. It's not the only component, but I believe when it comes to man, that we have to be a whole man, and it's so many different components and so many different aspects that go along with that. And I'll speak for me. Dad wasn't there either. My dad died when I was 3. So with me, and I give God the glory for that. The me that you see is a combination of a lot of different men that were in my life. I'm not one particular guy that I grew up seeing. I have the work ethic of my uncle, who used to work from sun up to sun up. I have the style of my stepdad. I think I have the intelligence of my uncle. So I was able to blend all of the positive components of these people around me without taking a lot of the negative aspects of them. So, it kind of goes both ways, man. There's a lot of give and take when it comes to that. Is she trying to come back? Tish, you back. I think you just got to turn your camera on. So whenever there you go.
Okay, yeah, it's much better. I don't know what was going on.
Man, we talking that talk, man, and the powers to be trying to shut us down. Y'all have no idea how many blots and how many trolls I have blocked from coming on this thing. So obviously we talking about something that needs to be talked about. All right. And my last question, and we've already kind of spoke on it a little bit, is that do you think that there are any negative stigmas that are affiliated or attached to being a single mom? Crystal.
Yes, I do feel there are some negative stigmas attached to being a single mom. Um, Again, very transparent. There was this guy that I met, very nice guy. We had a really good conversation. We were both into working out, into the same things, but I can definitely appreciate that guy and his maturity level. And he told me, he said, Crystal, you're beautiful, inside out. I just don't date women with kids because I've seen what happens with my brother and, his baby mama drama. So at that point, it's not my prerogative to, try and change his mind. At that point, I just thanked him for his honesty, and I moved forward. But one stigma, and I think Tish kind of touched on it, was that there's baby daddy drama. Well, with my ex-husband, we don't have drama per se. We kind of disagree, but it stays between he and I,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't spill over into into the relationship. So we're two people with two different mindsets, and I have the kids majority of the time. So naturally, we're going to kind of disagree on some things, but I think that's just two people being two people.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely some stigmas, and Tish, she touched on a lot of them, but one that I have experienced was, the fact that I have two kids. Never mind the fact that she works three jobs, and never mind the fact that, she's financially stable. She got two kids, and I ain't trying to get into all of that. So, but I appreciate his honesty.
Did he have any kids?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I know there are there are men and women out there who have kids but want to date people who don't have kids. Like, how does that work? Like, I don't know.
I'm just gonna say in 2022, who don't have kids? I mean,
That's true too. That's true too.
I mean, everybody has lived life. I think, we put people on this pedestal to be so perfect, but if we're speaking from a biblical perspective, allow yourself grace and allow others grace as well.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. I'm not saying our kids are mistakes, but we've all made some decisions that, had we known what we know now, we probably would have made different decisions at any
Oh, you
point.
worded
But
that so well.
yeah, but allow yourself some grace, and allow the people that you come into contact with grace as well, because no one's perfect.
You worded that so well. Because I talk to people about that all the time, and for some reason or another, people feel like that if they say that they would have possibly done some things differently had they actually weighed the consequences of what they were doing, that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, that means that they regret having the kids. And that's two totally different conversations. Yeah, it's two totally different conversations.
I don't regret it at all. Those kids, I love them to death, and they have they've made me a better person.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that children are a gift from God. I had my first son when I was 22, a junior in college. And I was like seeing my way through college, like just seeing my way through. And then when I had my son, instantly something clicked within me. And I think Bianca had kind of mentioned this, but instantly I wanted to be a better person. From that moment on, I made straight A's because I'm like, you know what? I got somebody that's depending on me. And I wasn't married to his dad yet, but he's depending on me and I have to do everything within my power to make sure that this kid is good. So I became a better person, strictly for my son.
Nice. All right, Jen. Any stigmas attached to being a single mom?
I think one of and Crystal touched on it about like we're broke, we are low income, on every type of assistance you can imagine, with leaning on the government for everything. And we have these kids, so now they getting all this assistance and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the biggest stigmas, that we're not taking care of ourselves, that we're looking for handouts and waiting for the government to do something, and the state to do this, and really a lot of that it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Can
So
I just say I would love some food stamps?
thank you.
Amen,
Please.
amen, amen.
Please,
Please.
please, Jesus, because the price, the
Just for
package of
50.
chicken. Look, listen. Just give
I'm
me
serious.
$100,
I
Jesus.
go, you go in the store and you have your you have your little groceries here, and you see, like, can I have some of that? Just please.
Man, they be balling out too. That's a whole
Which
nother
I don't blame them.
conversation.
I mean, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a big stigma, that single parent, single mom. Oh, she needs help. She needs this, and at times we do need a little help and things like that. So there's nothing wrong with it. But just to there's always this assumption that we're looking for a handout, or the child, the father. And in some cases, the father may be involved, but they don't see the father, so they assume, oh, she, we, as a charity case, basically, like, we have to help her, we have to do that. So that's one of the biggest stigmas that I've seen.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Tish, negative stigmas associated with being a single mom.
I think, pretty much like I said already, and then the other ladies just touched on it as well. Um, charity case. Um, Although I do get food stamps, honestly, it is on my vision board to stop receiving them. So that is one of my goals. Um, that is one of my goals, for them to be taken away entirely. Um, but like, like she already said, excuse me, like Jennifer already said, it is, like a charity case. Like, we're expecting them to come in and just save the day, when in most cases, in most situations, that's not the case. Um, a single mother is not a single mother by choice, I like to say. So therefore, she didn't boss up because she wanted to. She bossed up because she had to. So therefore, that means, respectfully, I don't need you. You're here because I want you here. And I think if more people looked at it that way, they would see, 9 times out of 10, the single mother can help you and add value to you more than what you can really do for her.
Hmm.
Respectfully.
Jen, was that a golf club, golf snap? What the hell? All right, Bianca. Negative stigmas attached to being a single parent.
I think everybody touched on it. Really, it's just that implicit bias that society has on, the mother walking around with just in the father not being present, and they just think that it's the big, oh, she was just here, or she just there, and what I'm saying, everywhere. But I have to say that I put a negative stigma on myself when
Hmm.
I was pregnant, actually, because I was a teacher. Um, Man, of course, my grandmother's a teacher. It's just like, and of course, I know where she was and everything like that. And of course, I love that lady, so I will always bring her up. But and I know what she went through as she was married with kids and everything like that, and what she told me about the image of teachers and what we think the image of teachers are. And I felt like I was letting my students down by showing them um a woman who was unmarried and pregnant. But come to find out, and later on, that they still looked up to me way past that, and even if more so. With that being said, so it was just like I think sometimes past society and within our society can put that thought, that, or that negative stigma, everything, within the heads of a single parent, which, like Tish said, we just didn't become a single parent. Like, it just didn't just we didn't decide that. So of course, like Crystal said, it is all about having grace, and for the outside looking in to realize that as well. Everybody can't put themselves into your shoes, but it's all about having empathy, and of course everybody doesn't have that, everybody can't see that. But yeah, I think, and someone in the chat, I was looking at it, they were like, a lot of people need to hear this and to be a part of this conversation, to see the different viewpoints.
Yeah, and you said something that, like, I've never thought about that either. Like, I know that we all endure a level of peer pressure. We all want to appear that we have it all together and stuff for our peers, but I never think about it from a teaching perspective of, you could teach anywhere between, 9 to 50 kids on a daily basis. And, just thinking about how they may perceive you, or, how their parents may perceive you and things like that. But you got to understand, man, like, I'm no pun intended, but most of those kids, for a lot of kids, you may be the most stable thing that they ever see. You don't
And
know what they go home to.
that's what kind of made me feel that, it's just like I'm the stable person. I'm the one, in all honesty, and especially with the demographic that I teach in. And our principal says that also some of our kids a lot of them will say, if we told them right now, you can come on with me, guess what? They pick up, they pick up and go. And it just kind of, you want to make this, you want to be seen in this light, and want to continue to have them to understand that, or I don't know, you want them to think highly of you, and you think about these little negative things. And like I said, I'm walking around with a big old stomach, I can't hide it, with with no ring on my finger, and it kind of it took a toll. But like I say, going about it, realizing, it is no better, it's no better moment than me walking around with my daughter grabbing my finger, we walking. I love it. I love us together. I love my students seeing us together. I love the public eye seeing us together. There's no better feeling than me being with my daughter. So it's like, looking back on it, all that, who cares?
Yeah, people are gonna find something to talk about regardless. There's nothing that you can do that will be perfect in the eyes of everybody. And I've realized that as I got the older, man, like my teachers, man, they always appeared to me to be perfect beings. Even though they had their own imperfections, you always saw your teacher in a higher light than everybody else, because everything that you hope to become was always in their hands for them to help groom you. So in that situation, I think you probably were a little hard on yourself. I'm pretty sure you were pretty hard on yourself.
Definitely hard on herself.
Yeah. How old? What grade you teach?
10th grade. Well, English too, so 10th and 11th.
Yeah, they old enough to know, but I mean,
and that's also the thing, is like, they old enough. Dang.
Something though, a lot of teachers keep their professional lives and their personal lives completely separate.
Exactly.
There are a lot of teachers that you don't know if they married or not.
It was just like, it kind of like the barrier, and I am that person, and at that point I feel like the barrier was broken, like, it's like, oh well. And like I say, it's all just being too hard on myself, and I have that about me. So
all right, man, I'm gonna
give
go
yourself
ahead
the
and
grace that you give to others.
Yeah,
Please and thank
absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. So man,
Just like
I
God gives us.
yeah,
Look, I know you're trying to get off. I just want to say that I literally read something on Sunday that said, to relieve stress, it was just like, think about how your friend would respond to you. And it's crazy that y'all said that. Like, think about how your friend would respond to something that negative happened in your life. And that's just what it is, the grace that you give someone else.
that's it. So man, look, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it a lot, man. It's been therapy for me. Hopefully, it's been therapy for you all too. I really would like to see you all, connect and keep the chat alive where y'all can, shoot ideas off of each other and become your own little support system because I mean it's needed. Let's just be frank about it. There's no such thing in today's society as having too many allies, having people who see things from your perspective that you can kind of bounce ideas off of. So um, hopefully, this is the start to something like that. Um, appreciate you all for jumping on. I appreciate you all for being as transparent as you were. I had a great time. I won't say good. I had a great time communicating with all of you as we began to, just chat about this show. And the people who are in my inner circle will tell you I was actually nervous about this show, and typically I'm not nervous, but my whole thing was to create an environment where you all could talk freely, where you could be transparent, and you did it in a way where you felt safe here. You didn't feel like I was being judgmental or that I was trying to create a false narrative about anything. So I'm glad that we got through it the way that we did. And before we shut down, I will give each of you an opportunity for closing remarks. We'll start with Crystal.
I think I said it earlier, but I'm so grateful again to just be pursuing passion and just to be pursuing my purpose. And I'm grateful for you, Ken, for asking me to be a part of this show.
I
I'm
appreciate you.
grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful for each of you ladies, Jennifer, Tish, and Bianca. I'm grateful to get the opportunity to sit amongst some beautiful and intelligent single moms that's out there that's just really breaking stigmas. Like,
That's right.
I'm so excited to go back to work and tell people, like, hey, I met like three amazing single moms and they are all doing their thing. So, like, I'm so excited that I had the opportunity to meet you guys. I'm so grateful to God for this opportunity, and I'm so grateful that you guys were so transparent to make this panel a great panel. I mean, it was amazing.
Absolutely. All right, Jen, closing remarks.
Just like Crystal said, I mean, this was really wonderful. It was needed. I mean, just to get the different perspectives, to get the background on you ladies, to see, the things you've gone through, and just to be transparent. It was just a very good conversation. It was just easy. It was just comfortable just sharing. And Ken, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. It was really good. I would love to do it again, or discuss other topics and stuff, and just to connect with you ladies, to see the comments from others. Just it was wonderful tonight. My heart is really full right now. It was great tonight. So I appreciate it. Thank you ladies for sharing your thoughts and everything you've gone through. It's been really good, and I appreciate it so much.
I tell you what, man, what y'all what y'all ain't gonna do is get me to tear up on here. That's what you're not gonna do. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So Tish is on you. I'm gonna go off camera for a second.
I'll be honest and say that my cup is full. I was super duper tired. I was super tired and I almost canceled on you guys. I will be honest. But I'm so glad and so grateful that I did not. This was honestly, like Ken said, therapy that I didn't know I needed tonight. It has been amazing, Crystal, Jennifer, and Bianca. I'm so thankful that I was able to meet you guys and just share in this panel. Um, I hate speaking publicly, so this was easy. You guys, the flow was beautiful, the transparency was amazing. So, Ken, even though you're off camera, thank you for not staying in my DMs to kind of help pull this purpose out of me to stop hiding and to begin to tell my story. So, thank you very much for giving me the stage to do so.
Man,
So,
let me tell you one thing about me. You can't be in my circle and not be held accountable. That's just not how I work. You know,
right,
I'm a firm believer that people who care about you will always see greatness in you before you see it in yourself. And I'm not that guy. I'm sure y'all know that by now, but I'm not that guy who's trying to appease you. I'm not gonna say I don't care about your feelings, but if it comes down to where there's either growth or you liking me, I would take the risk of you not liking me if it means that I can grow you. So, the conversation that you and I have had, I walked away from all of them conversations saying, like, man, she's really a dope chick and she really needs to get her story out there. Like, there are so many people that need to hear that, having kids is not a death sentence. That there are opportunities to go out there and do amazing things and still conquer the world. And at the end of the day, I think that the blessing is even greater because not only did you conquer the world, but you also brought somebody else into this world so that after you're dead and gone, your legacy lives on through them.
right.
So I just really think that people needed to hear that. All right, Bianca. Um, like I say, y'all not gonna have me on here tearing up.
Well,
So
I'm good for a tier or two, but
yeah.
I will. I thank you so much for having me here. I want to say, like Tisha, I was dog tired. My kids at school just decided they wanted a step team, and somebody told them that I was Greek and I do this. So I just sweat out my silk press, had to come get it done. Do it again for y'all. But anyways. But like I say, I want to thank y'all for having this naive young mom, just with a 2-year-old at that, with all of my superficial issues as a mom, because I know it's only uphill from here. I understand that. But the Crystal, Jennifer, Tish, like it was amazing speaking with y'all. Like I say, Jennifer, like I feel like we're here. And Ken, thank you so much for having me. I connected with y'all. This girl from Monroe, Louisiana, my line sister, Kramer McDaniel. Connected me, and she knows that I actually had a desire this year to start like a single mom, like like not like support group, but like a I don't know. I don't know the best verbiage to how to put it, but like, to be able to come together like this and understand that, our issues aren't, so different. And that we are truly going through the same things. I know a lot of women are, mentally, and I had someone close to me, ha- in lack of a better words, have a mental breakdown just because of the mental stress of being a single mom. And that was after my thought about this. So this just tells me right now that I guess I need to get it rolling.
Well, it's
Confirmation.
confirmation number one. It's confirmation number one that you are on purpose.
Yeah.
I think you already have your first three members, so you're already off the ground before you know it. Um, when doing something like that, it's always good to have people that you can shoot ideas off of.
Yes.
And
Yes.
luckily, tonight you found three sisters that are absolutely amazing. Each one of them are articulate and educated within their own right. So, um, like I say, I don't believe anything happens by consequence. I mean, you know, I didn't know Kramer before somebody introduced us, and she
It was
did.
me.
Yeah,
It was
right,
me.
right.
Kramer
Yeah,
is
she
good
did.
people.
Yeah,
Yes,
she did.
indeed.
She did.
Very.
Yeah, she
She
did
is
my
good
show
people.
about 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Did an amazing job. Y'all go back in the archive and check out Kramer's show. She's absolutely phenomenal.
She is. I
Um,
went to grad school with her at
Kramer's
LSU.
the connect, man.
She
And
really is.
even yeah, and even with Jennifer, man, Jennifer lives in Baton Rouge, and we've connected and we've communicated a lot, but we've never physically met each other. Never. So I mean, Facebook is an amazing tool that if you utilize it properly and if you have the right circles around you, you can absolutely find some pretty dope people. Um, So once again, man, I thoroughly appreciate you all. I got this platform. I'm trying to build it out. I'm trying to build a platform that where we're not necessarily looking for numbers. We're looking for quality people that we can help you guys advertise your businesses. We can help you guys form network groups and just show people that there is a lot more to life than just what we see on these reality shows. There's a lot more to TV than what we see on some of this old junk that they have, where everybody's trying to live their best life. Everybody's, showing derogatory images of us, and that we can create a space together where we can absolutely have fantastic conversations that actually elevate our platform. So, I know I've said it 3 or 4 times, but I'll say it again. I appreciate you all for coming on tonight. This conversation could not have gone any better if I had planned each and every detail of it and created a panel of people that I knew. It could not have gone better. You guys flow like you knew each other. I thought that was amazing. I felt a sense of respect amongst you guys, and that's beautiful as well. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And for the people who were witnessed this, those of you who were on, those of you who commented, I appreciate all of you guys. Man, we got more topics brewing, and this is the level. This is now the standard that we set to where we want to have additional conversations at this level. So for those of you who have ideas and things that you would like for us to discuss, please feel free to reach out to me. For those of you who want to come on and share your stories, please feel free to reach out to me. If you are an entrepreneur and want to come on and talk about your journey into entrepreneurship, please feel free to reach out and talk to me. So until we meet again, maybe as soon as tomorrow, maybe as late as next Tuesday, but until you guys see me online again, appreciate all of you for joining, and we will see you all when we see you all. Peace. And broadcast.